The emergency room doors burst open as Skylar clutched her side, blood seeping through her shirt from a deep gash, her face pale with pain and fury. "Please, I need help now," she gasped, but the doctor, a stern woman named Lucy, glanced at Skylar's rainbow bracelet and the way she leaned on her female companion, then turned away with a cold shake of her head. "We can't treat you here. Find another clinic," Lucy muttered, her voice laced with unspoken judgment that shattered the air like glass. Skylar Thompson staggered into the bustling waiting room of Midtown Medical Clinic in the heart of Manhattan, the kind of place where New York's relentless pace met the sterile hum of fluorescent lights and beeping monitors. It was a rainy Tuesday afternoon in spring, the kind that turned the city streets into slick mirrors reflecting skyscrapers and yellow cabs. At 28, Skylar was no stranger to the grind. She ran a small tech startup focused on LGBTQ+ health apps, her life a whirlwind of board meetings, pride parades, and late-night coding sessions. But today everything changed. The accident had happened blocks away. A careless cyclist clipped her while she crossed Broadway, sending her tumbling into a jagged metal grate. Pain radiated from her ribs, sharp and unrelenting, but she pushed through, hailing a cab to the nearest clinic. Her girlfriend, Mia, had been with her, holding her hand tightly as they entered. Mia, with her fiery red hair and unyielding spirit, was the rock Skylar leaned on, or so she thought. As they approached the triage desk, Skylar's vision blurred from the agony. "Name?" the nurse asked curtly. "Skylar Thompson. I think I cracked a rib, it's bleeding bad." The nurse nodded, scribbling notes, and soon they were ushered into an exam room. That's when Dr. Lucy Hargrove entered. Lucy was in her mid-30s, with sharp features softened by weary eyes that spoke of long shifts and longer regrets. She wore a white coat over scrubs, her stethoscope dangling like a noose. Born and raised in conservative upstate New York, Lucy had fought her way through med school on scholarships, dreaming of healing the world. But life in the city had worn her down, and the clinic's owner, a rigid old-timer named Dr. Ellis, enforced unwritten rules that clashed with her hidden truths. "Let's see," Lucy said, reviewing the chart without looking up. Then her eyes flicked to Skylar and Mia, Mia's arm around Skylar's waist, a quick peck on the cheek for comfort. Lucy's face tightened. Ellis had drilled it into her. "We keep things traditional here. No politics, no agendas." But it was more than that. Lucy's own buried feelings surged up, a mix of envy and fear. She was a closeted lesbian, trapped in a loveless marriage to maintain appearances, her heart a vault of unspoken desires. "I'm sorry," Lucy said, her voice flat. "We can't accommodate this. You'll have to go elsewhere." Skylar blinked, stunned. "What? I'm bleeding, look at me." Mia jumped in. "Is this because we're together? That's discrimination." Lucy averted her gaze, muttering about policy, but the refusal hung heavy. Skylar felt a wave of humiliation crash over her, hotter than the pain in her side. They left in a daze, Mia hailing another cab to a different across town. As Skylar was finally treated, stitches, x-rays, pain meds, she seethed. Her father, Harlan Thompson, was a powerhouse in healthcare, owning a chain of clinics and hospitals across the East Coast. One phone call later, Harlan's voice boomed through the speaker. "They did what? I'll handle it, kiddo." By evening, Harlan's lawyers had uncovered Midtown Medical's financial woes, debts piling up under Ellis's mismanagement. A swift buyout offer was made, irresistible in its generosity. Hours after the refusal, Skylar owned the clinic. Ellis was out, staff notified of changes. But as Skylar lay in her hospital bed, victory tasted bitter. Mia, strangely distant during the chaos, excused herself early, citing work. The next day, Skylar returned to the clinic, now under her umbrella. Employees gathered in the break room, anxious. Lucy stood at the back, her face ashen. "I'm Skylar Thompson," she announced. "Effective immediately, this place is mine. And we're making changes, starting with inclusivity training for all." Whispers rippled. Lucy approached afterward, voice trembling. I didn't mean to. It wasn't personal." Skylar's eyes narrowed. "Not personal? You turned me away like trash." Lucy swallowed. "The owner. He threatened my job if I didn't follow his standards. But I get it now. I'm sorry." Something in Lucy's eyes, vulnerability, perhaps regret, stirred Skylar. She nodded curtly. Prove it. Stay on but earn your place. As weeks passed, the clinic transformed. Skylar implemented LGBTQ plus friendly policies, hosting workshops and partnering with local pride centers. Lucy threw herself into the work, her efficiency shining. Late one evening as they reviewed patient files, their hands brushed. A spark. Why did you really refuse me? Skylar asked softly. Lucy hesitated. Because seeing you too. It reminded me of what I can't have. The confession hung the start of something deeper. But shadows loomed. Mia grew jealous of Skylar's time at the clinic, arguments flaring. You're obsessed with that place and her, Mia accused. Skylar denied it, but doubts crept in. Little did she know, Mia's own secrets were unraveling. The Manhattan skyline glittered outside Skylar's new office window at the clinic, a far cry from the dim exam rooms where her journey began. It had been a month since the buyout, and the place buzzed with renewed energy. Rainbow flags in the lobby, sensitivity training sessions packed with staff eager to learn. Skylar felt a sense of purpose, but her personal life frayed at the edges. Mia had been acting strange, late nights at the office, evasive texts, a coldness that chilled their once warm apartment in Chelsea. Skylar chalked it up to stress. Her startup was booming, the clinic demanding. But deep down she sensed cracks. Lucy, meanwhile, became an unexpected ally. Their late-night collaborations turned into conversations that lingered. Over coffee in the break room, Lucy shared snippets of her life. A childhood in rural New York, where being different meant isolation. I married young to fit in, she admitted one evening, staring into her mug. But it was never right. Skylar nodded, her own story spilling out. Coming out in college, building her app to help others navigate healthcare biases. The attraction built slowly, like a summer storm gathering. A shared laugh over a patient's quirky complaint. A supportive touch during a tough shift. Skylar found herself drawn to Lucy's quiet strength, her eyes that held oceans of unspoken pain. But loyalty to Mia held her back. Then came the betrayal. Skylar returned home early one afternoon, arms full of groceries for a surprise dinner. The apartment door creaked open to muffled voices, and there was Mia, entangled with her coworker, clothes strewn across the living room. Skylar dropped the bags, the crash echoing her shattering heart. How long? She whispered, voice breaking. Mia scrambled up, excuses tumbling. It's not what, Skylar, please. You've been distant, always at that clinic. But the damage was done. Skylar fled, tears blurring the streets as she wandered aimlessly, ending up at the clinic's doorstep. It was after hours, but Lucy's light was on. Knocking softly, Skylar entered. Lucy looked up from paperwork, concern etching her face. What happened? Without words, Skylar collapsed into a chair, sobs racking her. Lucy listened as the story poured out. The refusal, the buyout, now this ultimate stab. She was my everything, Skylar choked. Lucy moved closer, hesitantly wrapping her arms around her. You're stronger than this. You've already proven that. In that embrace, barriers crumbled. Lucy's own marriage was a sham, papers for divorce already filed in secret. I've hidden who I am for too long, she confessed. Their lips met tentatively, a kiss born of shared vulnerability, sweet and tentative. It was the beginning of something real, but drama lurked. Word spread quickly in the tight-knit clinic. Staff whispered about the new owner and the doctor. Ellis, the ousted owner, harbored resentment, leaking stories to tabloids. Lesbian takeover. Bias or revenge? Headlines splashed across New York Post knockoffs, painting Skylar as vindictive. Protests formed outside, conservative groups picketing, chanting about traditional values. Skylar faced the storm head-on, holding a press conference in the clinic lobby. This isn't revenge, it's progress, she declared, Lucy by her side. But internally, doubts gnawed. Was this too fast? Lucy's ex-husband, bitter from the divorce, threatened to out her publicly, adding fuel to the fire. One night as they walked hand-in-hand through Central Park, cherry blossoms falling like confetti, Lucy stopped. I never thought I'd feel this free, she said, eyes shining. Skylar smiled, but a text buzzed, Mia, begging for forgiveness. Meet me. One last talk. Against her better judgment, Skylar agreed, leaving Lucy worried. At a quiet cafe, Mia pleaded. I messed up, but we can fix this. Skylar wavered, memories flooding. But as Mia reached for her hand, Skylar pulled back. No. You've shown me what I deserve, and it's not this. Walking away, she felt liberated, rushing back to Lucy. Yet conflict escalated. Ella sued for wrongful termination, claiming the buyout was coerced. Court dates loomed, testimonies dredging up the refusal incident. Lucy took the stand, voice steady. I was wrong that day. Fear made me comply with outdated prejudices. But Skylar showed me change is possible. The judge ruled in their favor, but the emotional toll mounted. Through it all, their bond deepened. Picnics in Brooklyn, stolen moments in the clinic supply closet, laughter amid chaos. Skylar's app integrated with the clinic, offering virtual support for LGBTQ+ patients nationwide. Lucy blossomed, leading seminars on inclusive care. But a high-stakes drama unfolded when Lucy's health faltered, stress-induced migraines revealing an underlying condition. It's nothing, she brushed off, but Skylar insisted on tests. The diagnosis: early-stage multiple sclerosis. Fear gripped them. I can't burden you, Lucy whispered in the dim hospital room. Skylar held her tight. We're in this together. That's what love means. The revelation tested their resolve, but it forged unbreakable ties. As summer heat blanketed New York, the clinic thrived under Skylar's vision, but personal storms raged. Lucy's MS diagnosis hung like a shadow, her symptoms, fatigue, numbness, flaring during long shifts. Skylar juggled it all. Startup demands, clinic oversight, and supporting Lucy through treatments. Their relationship, once tentative, now burned with intensity, but cracks appeared under pressure. One evening in their shared apartment overlooking the Hudson, Lucy snapped. I don't need you mothering me, Skylar. Plates clattered as she stormed out. Skylar followed, the argument spilling onto the fire escape. I'm just worried about us, about everything. Lucy softened. I know, but this disease makes me feel weak. I hate it. They reconciled under the stars, promises whispered but tension simmered. Enter the next twist. Mia, unwilling to fade, leaked private emails to the press. Intimate details from their past, twisted to portray Skylar as manipulative. Headlines screamed, Tech mogul's revenge. Inside the clinic scandal. Protests intensified, donors pulling back from Skylar's app. How could she? Skylar raged to Lucy. This is betrayal on steroids. Lucy urged calm. Fight with facts, not fury. Together they crafted a response. An op-ed in the New York Times, detailing the refusal's impact and the clinic's transformation. Love isn't a scandal, discrimination is. It read. Public opinion shifted, support pouring in from LGBTQ+ allies. But the emotional core deepened. Lucy's therapy sessions unearthed buried traumas, her conservative upbringing, the suppression of her identity. I refused you that day because I saw myself in you, she admitted during a tearful night. Free, unafraid. It terrified me. Skylar shared her own scars. A distant father, past heartbreaks. Their vulnerabilities intertwined, romance blooming amid drama. A high point came at the New York City Pride Parade. Skylar and Lucy marched with clinic staff, banners waving. Healing for all. Cheers erupted as they kissed atop a float, cameras flashing. For a moment the world felt right. Yet conflict peaked when Harlan, Skylar's father, intervened. A gruff tycoon, he approved of the buyout but disapproved of the distractions. Focus on business, not this. Romance, he barked during a family dinner. Skylar stood firm. This is my life, Dad. Lucy is my future. Harlan relented, but not before revealing a secret. He'd known about Lucy's MS from clinic records, using it as leverage to push Skylar toward stability. Fury boiled. You spied on us? Skylar confronted him. The fallout strained family ties, but it united Skylar and Lucy further. We don't need his approval, Lucy said, her hand in Skylar's. As autumn leaves fell, a major crisis hit. A cyber attack on the clinic systems, patient data exposed. Fingers pointed at Ellis or Mia's allies. Skylar worked tirelessly, enlisting her tech team to fortify defenses. Lucy, despite flares, coordinated care continuity. In the chaos, their love shone. Quiet dinners, supportive notes. The investigation revealed Mia's involvement. She confessed under pressure, seeking redemption. I was hurt, but I went too far. Skylar forgave not for Mia but for her own peace. Move on. We all deserve better. With the attack thwarted, the clinic emerged stronger, expanding services. Lucy's condition stabilized with new meds, her spirit unbroken. Their relationship, tested by fire, evolved into profound partnership. One crisp evening, on a rooftop overlooking the city, Skylar dropped to one knee. Lucy Hargrove, through refusals and redemptions, will you marry me? Tears flowed as Lucy said yes. Rings exchanged under twinkling lights. But life isn't fairy tales. Harlan's health declined, a heart attack forcing Skylar to confront family wounds. At his bedside, reconciliation bloomed. I'm proud of you, kiddo. And her. It was a turning point, blending personal and professional worlds. As winter approached, the clinic hosted its first holiday gala, raising funds for LGBTQ+ health. Skylar and Lucy danced, surrounded by friends, the air alive with hope. Snow dusted the streets of Manhattan as the new year dawned, bringing fresh challenges to Skylar and Lucy's intertwined lives. The engagement ring on Lucy's finger sparkled like a promise, but MS flares grew unpredictable, sidelining her from surgeries. I feel like I'm losing myself, Lucy confided one night, curled on the couch. Skylar held her. You're not. We're adapting together. The clinic, now a beacon for inclusive care, faced external pressures. A national debate on healthcare rights amplified their story, with politicians citing Midtown Medical as an example, some praising, others condemning. Skylar testified before a Senate committee, voice steady. Refusal based on identity isn't medicine, it's malice. Lucy watched from home, pride swelling despite her fatigue. Drama intensified when Lucy's ex-husband, Greg, resurfaced. Bitter from the divorce, he filed for custody of their shared dog. A petty move, but it dredged up old pains. He wants to hurt me, Lucy said. Skylar hired top lawyers, turning the tables. In court, Greg's homophobic rants backfired. The judge ruled in Lucy's favor. Victory was sweet, but the emotional scars lingered. Amid this, their romance deepened with quiet gestures. Skylar learning to cook Lucy's favorite comfort foods. Lucy surprising Skylar with tickets to a Broadway show about forbidden love. This is us, Lucy whispered during intermission. Laughter and tears mingled, forging resilience. A pivotal conflict arose with the clinic's expansion. Skylar planned a satellite location in Brooklyn, but funding hit snags, investors wary after the scandals. Enter a shady offer from a rival chain, laced with strings that compromised inclusivity. Take it or risk everything, the board urged. Skylar refused, rallying community support through crowdfunding. This isn't just business. It's our mission. Lucy, inspired, proposed a partnership program with local nonprofits. Their collaboration shone, but a health scare tested them. Lucy collapsed during a meeting, rushed to ER. It's progressing faster, the doctor said. Panic gripped Skylar. I can't lose you. Lucy, from her bed, squeezed her hand. You won't. Fight with me. Recovery brought introspection. They traveled to upstate New York, visiting Lucy's hometown, a quaint village of rolling hills and old churches. Facing her past, Lucy came out to her family. Reactions mixed. Her mother tearful but accepting, her father silent. It's a start, Lucy said on the drive back, hand in Skylar's. Back in the city, betrayal struck again. A trusted employee, swayed by Ellis's remnants, leaked expansion plans to competitors. The fallout, bids undercut, delays mounting. Skylar confronted the traitor. Why? Money and resentment. Fired, but the damage forced reevaluation. Through it, their bond held. Picnics in Washington Square Park, debates over wedding venues, Central Park gazebo or Brooklyn rooftop. Dreams wove with reality. High drama peaked at a gala fundraiser. Mia appeared uninvited, cornering Skylar. I see you're happy now. But remember, I knew you first. Lucy intervened, firm. She's mine now. Leave. Mia slunk away, closure finally settling. As spring returned, the Brooklyn site broke ground. Harlan recovered, attended, toasting to new beginnings. Family mended, the clinic flourished. Wedding preparations brought joy, dress fittings, cake tastings. But Lucy's MS worsened, a flare confining her to a wheelchair temporarily. Will you still want this? she asked. Skylar knelt. More than ever. The ceremony was intimate, under blooming trees in Central Park. Vows exchanged. In sickness and health, through refusals and triumphs. Guests cheered, a rainbow arching overhead. Post-honeymoon they returned empowered. Skylar delegated more, focusing on their life. Lucy adapted her role, mentoring young doctors. Yet life threw one last curve. A class action lawsuit from past patients denied care under Ellis. Skylar and Lucy led the defense, turning it into advocacy. Settlement funds created scholarships for LGBTQ+ med students. In quiet moments they reflected. From that awful day to this, Skylar mused. Lucy smiled. Love healed us. With the lawsuit resolved, Midtown Medical stood as a symbol of change, its story inspiring documentaries and TED Talks. Skylar and Lucy now married balanced life with grace, weekends in the Hamptons, evenings volunteering at shelters. But personnel drama never fully faded. New hires brought fresh dynamics, testing their leadership. One such challenge. A young intern, Alex, who reminded Lucy of her younger self, closeted, struggling. When Alex faced harassment from a colleague, Lucy stepped in, echoing her own past. You're safe here, she assured. Skylar watched proudly, their partnership seamless. Emotionally, Lucy's MS progressed, requiring infusions and therapy. Skylar became her advocate, researching trials and adapting their home. You're my hero, Lucy said during a tough day. Skylar replied, no, you're mine. Romance endured. Anniversary trips to San Francisco, where they traced LGBTQ+ history, renewing vows at Castro Street. We've come far, Skylar reflected, hand in hand. A major high came with national recognition. The clinic won an award for excellence in inclusive healthcare. At the ceremony in D.C., Skylar spoke. This started with a refusal but ended in revolution. Lucy, beaming beside her, added, and love. But biographic elements wove in humanism. Skylar reconnected with Mia years later at a conference. No bitterness, just growth. I'm happy for you, Mia said. Forgiveness closed old wounds. Family expanded. They adopted a rescue dog, naming it Hope. Harlan, softer in age, visited often, bonding over baseball games. You two taught me, he admitted. Climax built with a health crisis. Lucy's MS led to a severe relapse, hospitalization stretching weeks. Skylar never left her side, reading aloud, holding hands. If I don't make it, Lucy began. You will, Skylar interrupted. Friends rallied, the clinic community sending cards. Recovery was slow but transformative. Lucy emerged with renewed purpose, writing a memoir. From denial to devotion. It became a bestseller, proceeds funding research. In the end, the story circled back. On the anniversary of that fateful refusal, they stood in the clinic lobby. Hours after you turned me away, I owned this place, Skylar teased. Lucy laughed. And I owned your heart. Their legacy. Clinics nationwide adopting their model, lives saved, prejudices dismantled. It wasn't a fairy tale ending. MS persisted, challenges arose, but it was profoundly human. Love, in its messy, dramatic glory, prevailed. Skylar and Lucy walked into the sunset-lit streets, arms linked, a testament to resilience. In America's diverse tapestry, their story echoed. From rejection to redemption, one heartbeat at a time.